What's up, everybody? Bob here, and welcome to our Black Friday transformational sales blueprint. Excited to see so many of you joining here live for the first session. And I guess all that I can say is buckle up, because we're going to be spending a lot of time together over the next really 2.5 days. We'll wrap this workshop up probably sometime around 1:30 on Friday afternoon. But we've got 5 sessions planned for you. And I promise you that over the next 2.5 days, what you're going to get is a step-by-step blueprint to not only help you crush Black Friday this year, right? Build up some massive momentum over the next 3 weeks to help you make effortless sales and have this Black Friday weekend be something that creates real momentum in your business. I want you to imagine going into the last part of this year with more momentum and excitement than you've experienced in a long time in your business, so that you can make 2024 the year that your business finally gets back on track and you hit those big goals. But here's the secret. You know, we're going to be talking a lot about Black Friday and really this particular time of the year. But the secret is this. The plan that I'm going to give you is actually a plan that you should be executing every day in your business. And so whether you're using it over the next 3 weeks to build momentum for Black Friday, or it's just helping you really start to adapt and evolve your approach to business, if you're watching this workshop and you're feeling at a place where you are stuck and you are struggling and you are working, but you're not seeing the results, I truly believe that the next 2.5 days that we're going to spend together are going to be, you're going to look back and say, this is when things began to change. So we've got lots planned here. We're going to be, we'll be streaming, obviously, all of the sessions live. I know some of you are watching inside of our Love, Serve, Grow members group. We wanted to make it really easy for you to consume the training. Many of you are watching in our free public Facebook group. So we will be streaming all 5 sessions inside of the groups. And we've got replay. We have a replay page available. So we wanted to make it really simple for you, that you didn't have to be going through the group feeds. So at the end of the presentation today, I'm going to be sharing with you where you can find the replays very easily. And you're going to have access to those replays for several weeks after we're done. But with that being said, if you'll permit me to, I'd like to just kind of dive right into it here. And I want to kind of begin this process of sharing this presentation that I've put together with you. So let's just kind of jump right into it here. So what I really want to start off by talking about is this. I want to acknowledge that one of the things that makes Black Friday really challenging is competition for your prospects' attention and their money has never been greater than it is today. And when we think about a time like Black Friday, it's even 10 times harder for you to get your stuff in front of your prospects' eyes. You know, when you think about it, there are tens of thousands of sales promotions. And I get it. You've got products that you believe in. You're going to have amazing deals. But the question that you have to ask yourself is, how are you supposed to make your products, your content, your offer stand out amidst all this competition? Here's the other challenge that we have. Black Friday is also the most transactional time of the year. And look, I would guess that if you're here, you're probably not new to this idea that we talk about all the time, that the number one reason why most people are not seeing success today in their business is that they are too transactional in the way that they approach their business. And I'm going to be spending some time over the next couple of days explaining to you exactly what that means. But the truth of the matter is this. We want to share our deals and we want to share our promotions, but we want to do it in a way that's not too salesy, where we actually turn people off. And the truth of the matter is this. Most people do their business more damage than they do good because of the way that they've been taught to approach a time of year like Black Friday. And so I don't want that to be you. And so what I did was I thought to myself, I said, okay, so if I had a network marketing or a social selling business, how would I approach Black Friday? Knowing what I know what works and what doesn't work based off of our own experience. But much of what I'm going to be teaching you, these are things that we use in our own business to help us create results. But having worked with tens of thousands of different people from all different companies, I see that there are certain things that just the people that are winning today, what they're doing. And so I've created a plan. I've saved you all the time and effort, and I've put the plan together for you. It's a transformational plan. And I'm going to explain to you what that means. But over the next 3 days, you're going to get that plan. So I want to just really quickly, I want to share with you the workshop schedule so that you can see exactly what we're going to be doing together. So we have 5 sessions, and we've kind of broken this plan down into different segments. Today, we're going to really be focused on content. We've got 2 sessions, this one here. We have another one at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to shift gears, and we're going to really be talking about conversations. And so once again, 2 sessions, noon and 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Friday, I'm really excited for this. Friday, we're going to be talking about coaching and leading your team. But I've actually prepared a really special training for you where I'm going to be teaching you 3 simple shifts that you need to make in your business right now, today, in 2023 and beyond, to really be able to not only start scaling your income to make a lot more money, but make a much bigger impact in the process. This will be the first time that I'm ever actually doing this training. I've been working really hard putting this together for you. So over the next 2.5 days, you are going to get immense value, and you're going to have, like I said, a blueprint to really help you make a difference in your business. So I do want to point something out to you though. So we have a workbook that we have created. I have to give a shout out to my team, who always do such an incredible job helping create the supporting materials for our workshop. And I will say that this workbook that they've created is probably my favorite of all the ones that they've done. It is 27 pages of content, exercises, assignments. And even so, the challenge that I faced was this, just to be quite honest with you, is as I was putting together the 2.5 days of training, my goal is to try to be around 60 minutes per session. There was so much that I wanted to say, and I'm like, I just don't have the time to teach it all. So I created the workbook to go along with not only the training, but the workbook has bonus additional content for each of the days to help you even go deeper into what you learn. But if you're somebody that's really serious about implementing and taking action, I personally think the workbook is a non-negotiable. So listen, I know many of you have gotten the workbook. It's $27. If you did not get the workbook, but you are interested, here's all you have to do is just comment workbook. I've got our whole entire team is going to be in here. We're going to be manning the comments. We'll send you the link to grab it. I want to encourage you, get your copy. You can print it up, or you can just have it on your, iPad or laptop. It's an editable PDF, but it's going to make it a lot easier for you to follow along. So I would encourage you to do that. All right. So let's start off with an important thing. So I asked a question. Inside of one of our Facebook group communities. And here was the question. Do you have a strategy for Black Friday? And I was a little shocked, although I shouldn't have been that shocked, at what the response was. 96%. So more than 9 out of 10 people where we asked this question, do you have a plan for Black Friday? The answer was no. Listen, there's an old adage. We've all heard it. And there's a reason why old adages are what they are, because they're true. And we've all heard this. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And so to me, this is really the issue. And so let's talk about this here for a second. So if we really let's think about what Black Friday actually looks like for most people. I think this is going to, unfortunately, probably hit home and resonate with you. Black Friday for most people looks like this. A few weeks before the actual weekend, they start sending out these random messages to people saying, and we all know the "Hey girl" messages. "Hey girl, just wanted to see if I could add you to my my VIP Black Friday group, my list with all my great Black Friday deals, and we send out hundreds of these messages. And we get people that begrudgingly say yes, and we hold false hope because we think that means that they're going to buy from us. But what we don't realize is that they're on 100 other lists, and so our thing isn't really any different than anyone else's because we've never actually done a real work to build relationships and create value. And so Black Friday comes. We feel very stressed out and overwhelmed because we're always worried about where am I going to make sales. So we start posting, we start messaging, and we put all of this time and effort into trying to get attention and make some sales. And at the end of the day, here's what happens. Most of the messages get unreturned. Most of the content does not get any engagement at all. And by the time the dust settles, and at this point, Black Friday is really, it's Black Friday, it's Small Business Saturday, it's whatever they call Sunday, it's Cyber Monday. It's just like, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We work really hard, forget about actually having time to enjoy the long weekend with your family and do some things that you love because you're glued to your phone 24/7 trying to make those sales. But at the end of the day, the dust settles, you've barely done anything, or you've made some sales, but those sales don't actually create any momentum in your business. They're just one-time buyers, and there's nothing at the end of it. You feel worse than you did when you started. And I'm telling you, the reason why is because you don't have a plan. See, here's what I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine this Black Friday. I want you to imagine going into the weekend, feeling at ease and confident because you know that you've already done the work to set yourself up for success so that you can make effortless sales, not only for you, but for your team. And that at the end of it all, what you've done is you've actually created real momentum in your business. Well, what I want you to realize is that's never going to happen unless you actually have a plan. So here's the good news. You got two options. You can create the plan yourself. Or you can just do what I'm about to teach you. So let's get into that exactly. I want to share with you what this plan is going to look like. And I want to start off by sharing an analogy with you. So I want you to imagine that your business is an airplane. And in this particular analogy, having a successful Black Friday, the way that we've been talking about it, is the equivalent of a plane taking off, a successful takeoff. And so when we think about that, what are the necessary elements that a plane or a pilot needs to navigate a successful takeoff? Well, I think of things like you need an actual pilot, you need fuel for the airplane, you need passengers, right? You need to have good weather, you need to have a well-functioning plane. There are all these things, right? To me, there are two things that really stand out that I think provide us with a really important analogy for what we're teaching you. You need to know, number one, where are you going? There has to be a destination. A pilot cannot take off unless he or she has a flight plan. They have to know where they're going to chart the flight or the course. The second thing that they need, in a very practical manner, is the plane needs a runway, right? And so let's think about these two things and how do they apply to what we're talking about here? Well, the first thing I want you to realize is this. The destination really represent your goals. And an important question that you must ask yourself is this. What are your goals for Black Friday? Listen, here's the truth of the matter. For most people, their goals are really nothing more than I want to make some money and I want to make sales. That's the only thing they're thinking about. This is what we call a transactional approach to your business. And I'm not saying that making sales and making money shouldn't be goals of yours. They should. They're good goals. But if that's the only thing that you're thinking of, here's the problem, is it's very short-term thinking, and it will most likely lead you to doing things in your business that actually cause you more long-term harm than good. And so when we think about a transactional approach, we think about people sending hundreds of copy and paste messages, of spamming people's news feeds and inboxes, of just leading with the great deal like everybody else, not realizing that not only is that going to never get you attention because what you think is a great deal just is another thing to everybody else, but when you're leading with great deals, what it actually does is it devalues your products and your business. And it also triggers people's sales resistance. And this is the reason why you don't see results this time of the year. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to introduce you to a new approach. And so here's what I want to present to you is what I think your goals should be for Black Friday. See, if this is your destination, if this sounds more like the way you want to build your business, then I'm telling you the way I'm going to teach you to do this is the only way that's going to get you there. So what if your goals looked more like this? What if your goal was not just to make more money, but to experience more meaning in your business? Not just grow your income, but also the impact that you make along the way of making sales? What if every single piece of content and every single conversation was an opportunity to truly serve and help other people, not just help yourself? What if one of your goals was to do that? Was as you're actually posting and as you're having conversations, that you actually are truly serving people and you're helping them. And in the process of doing that, you are growing your influence with the people in your network. What if one of your goals was to build relationships, not just your bank account? How about this? How about growing a team? How about having Black Friday sales turn into actual team growth? Now, part of that comes from relationships. Part of it comes from the way that we sell, so that you can start building a team finally and experience more freedom, so that your check every month isn't solely dependent on what you do, hustling and grinding and trying to make sales just to maintain your current rank. And then the last one is this. What about if you could feel better about yourself? What if at the end of all of this process, what if you built more confidence and belief in your ability to make this work? See, my question to you is this. Which one of these set of goals sounds better to you? If these sound like your goals that are more aligned with the way you want to build your business, then what I'm telling you is there is no other way to do this. Being transformational is your greatest competitive advantage, not only during Black Friday, but any time of the year. Here's what it really is. It's what love, service, and growth look like in action every single day. See, if you're new to our training and what we teach and what we do, everything we do is based on a philosophy that we call Love, Serve, Grow. It's the name of our flagship program. It's the philosophy of, they're the values that we subscribe to internally in the way we run our company. It's what we teach people. So like if those three values, if they sound like things that are aligned with the way you want to grow your business, you don't just want to make a ton of money, but you truly want to feel a sense of purpose and make an impact and help people. And you believe, and you want to believe that you don't have to choose between building a successful business and living a life that you love, that it is possible to be able to win in both areas, then Love, Serve, Grow was created for you. And so when I think about really where most people have gone wrong is as a profession, we have become so transactional over the last 3 years. And quite frankly, we got a little bit lazy, if I'm honest. We got lazy because it was easy and it didn't take a lot of skill. And being transactional doesn't take a lot of skill. It just doesn't. It doesn't take skill to copy and paste a post that your upline gave you or someone in your company gave you. Being transformational takes skill. This is the reason why most people haven't done it yet. But what I'm about to share with you over the next 3 days is going to essentially teach you how to implement these 3 words into your business. And I'll be sharing with you some information about our Love, Serve, Grow program. You're going to have an opportunity, if you get value over the next 2.5 days, and you really, really want to get serious about building your business in more of a transformational way, we're going to give you an opportunity to actually join us and even get a chance to work with one of our coaches. We have trained Love, Serve, Grow coaches that work with our students one-to-one that help them implement what it is you're going to be learning. But right now, I want to do something special. And I think you're going to be very excited by this. So I know that we have people that are watching in 2 different places, our paid group and our free group. What I want to do is this. I mentioned to you, one of the things that I think makes Love, Serve, Grow so special is you do get access to actual coaches, people that are trained and skilled in what we teach, that are experts in the subject matter, that can take what you're learning and actually help you implement it and put it to work. And so here's what I want to do in the essence of giving back and serving and practicing what we preach. We are going to give away 2 scholarships. We are going to give away to 2 people watching right now. One of you in our paid group, so if you're a Love, Serve, Grow member, and one of you in our free group, we are going to give you an opportunity to get a 3-month scholarship into our program and get your very own one-on-one coach. That's going to basically what you learn in this workshop. They are going to take you and walk you through step by step how to implement this. It's over $1,000 value that I am gifting to 2 of you just as a thank you for being here today. Now, here's all that I need you to do. All right. So all I want you to do is tell me this. I want you to comment. All right. Let me come off share here for a second. I want you to comment in the group. Why do you want the coaching scholarship? Why would it be important to you to work with a coach to help you get clear on exactly what to do, avoid overwhelm? Why would it be important to you? Why would you be a good fit? Sell us, okay? I'm gonna make you work for it a little bit. You tell us and you sell us why you think you would be a good fit for the scholarship. We're going to give you an opportunity, and you don't have to do it right this second. You can if you want. But what me and my team are going to do is we're going to be going through all of the different responses that we get, and we're going to be choosing 2 people. And in session number 3, which will be happening tomorrow, we are going to select and we're going to announce the winners at the end of session 3. Each of you are going to get access to a scholarship. So that's my question to you, is what would make you a good fit? So we'll put that out there. All right, but let's get into the actual training here. So I want to start off with really the meat and the potatoes of what we're going to be teaching you. We need to know where we're going, but once we know where we're going, we have to have a plan to get there. And so when we think of the runway, here's what's so important. Is a plane needs a long enough runway in order to navigate a successful takeoff, right? If you think about it. If the runway is too short, the plane will not be able to build up enough speed to be able to actually lift off the ground. So if the runway is too short, then what's going to happen? Well, the plane is going to wind up crashing in whatever is at the end of that runway, and they're not going to get off the ground. And isn't that a fitting analogy, unfortunately, for the way we feel? Black Friday, we crash into the weekend and we pick the pieces up when it's done. See, when we think about the runway, think of the runway as the amount of time before Black Friday that you actually start being really intentional about what you're doing. Now, here's what I've found, is that the perfect amount of time is 21 days, 3 weeks. And now, listen, we've been running promotions and incentives just like this one for the last 7 years. And I've learned a lot. And what I've learned is that there is a sweet spot in terms of not being too early or too late, giving yourself time to really build momentum and build excitement for something happening, but not starting too early where you actually lose a sense of urgency and momentum. So what we have found is 3 weeks is the perfect time. And so we strategically chose these set of dates for this workshop, knowing that as of Monday next week, we're going to give you the plan. We're right at about 21 days, 3 weeks to help you execute. And so I want to talk to you about a 21-day plan. And the way that we're going to teach this is, if we think of these 2 analogies, we think of the runway and we think of the takeoff. So the runway is, what are the things that you're doing in the weeks leading up to Black Friday weekend? That's the runway. And then the takeoff is the actual day of the sale or the promotion. And so for some of you, the takeoff could represent 1 day, 3 days, 4 days, maybe a week, right? There are definitely things you do different during the takeoff when you actually have the thing to promote than you do in the runway. And so that's how we're going to break it up, is into those two pieces. And we're going to focus on three things. So we're going to focus on content, conversations, and coaching. We're going to be teaching you the transformational way to do these three things, because what I will tell you is the way you do these three things absolutely matters. It's not just about creating content or having conversations or trying to lead your team. It's the manner in which you do those things, your style, your mindset. It matters. And so we're going to teach you how to be really intentional in these three areas. And these three things over time will produce incredible results. So we're going to start off today, this session, we're going to be diving into the runway content. Tonight, we'll talk about takeoff content. And then tomorrow, runway conversations, takeoff conversations. And in session 5, we'll talk about coaching, which is basically just this. How do you take what you're learning in this workshop and how do you coach? Now, I keep saying coach, not teach. Coaching is important, not just teaching. So how do you coach your team how to do content and conversations in a transformational way so they can win as well? So that's the way we're going to break it down. And so, but let's talk about the biggest problem that people have when it comes to their runway content. The biggest problem, as I see it, is this: that people are not engaging enough with the content that you're creating that is in some way, shape, or form related to the products that you sell. So when we say product-related content, it could be very literally you talking about your products. Or when we think of transformational content is broader than that. We don't think about the product, we think about the problems that we can actually solve through our products and business. And so when we're creating content that is focused on problem solving, we still consider it product-related content. But the challenge most of you have is this: when you look at your social media, the majority of the likes and the comments you get are on posts that have nothing to do with your products or business. And so you're always struggling trying to find people to talk to. And so that is essentially the issue. Most of you have poor lead flow. You don't have enough people to talk to about your business. And so why getting engagement on product specific posts is so important is because when somebody likes or comments one of your posts, they go from being just a lead is somebody you could talk to. See, the secret to success in this plan is creating engaged leads. The more engaged leads that you have on posts that are in some way related to what you do or how you help, the easier it will be to build a successful business. Because if you have somebody that's liking or commenting on a post that you made, you're in weight loss and you give tips to the busy mom that wants to lose weight over the holidays, and somebody likes or comments, then you can reasonably assume that in some way, shape, or form, they have an interest or a need in that area. So starting a conversation with that person is so much easier than starting a conversation with a person that liked to comment of a picture of your dog and learning how to navigate and cross that bridge to get you to where you are, which, by the way, we still teach people how to do that. But to make it easy, let's start being really intentional about the way we create product-related content. Let's create more engaged leads, because if you can get more likes and comments on those kinds of posts, then the next step is starting to message those people and have conversations to create what we call hot leads. So a hot lead, right, is this. It's somebody that you've had a conversation with, that you know has a need for what you do. They've got a problem that you can help them with, that is related to your products, that you've identified, you've connected with them. What we're going to teach you how to do over 3 weeks is build a list of hot leads for your business so that when you go into Black Friday, you have people that are waiting to buy from you because you've already done the work to establish the relationship and build the value and get them ready. So that's the way that this is going to work. So the goal of content is to create those engaged leads so you can start a conversation. And the goal of the conversation is to qualify people to see if they actually have a problem or a need. We're going to teach you how to do that tomorrow. Okay. So how do we get more engagement? Well, here's the key concept that I want to introduce you to. You need to change your give to ask ratio. I would say this is easily the most important concept to understand when it comes to your runway content. The reason why most people do not get engagement on posts that are related to their products or business is for one simple reason. They are asking people to buy too often. So when we think about your give to ask ratio, this is what I want you to think about. And this is one of the bonus exercises in the workbook. I'll just share it with you. I want you to go back and I want you to look at all of the content that you've made over the last 30 days. And the ones that are specifically related to your products or business in some way, I want you to actually calculate this. How many times are you making an ask in that post? Asking people to buy, asking people to join your team. How many times are you making the ask? What's your give to ask ratio? See, giving looks like creating content with the pure intention of helping, of giving back, of serving, solving problems. Most people, when they look at their give to ask ratio, it's way off. So what's a good give to ask ratio? Well, this has changed. This is one of the biggest things that's changed. When I look at back in 2020, your give to ask ratio could be 1-to-1. I mean, for every post that you give, you could sell in a post and it would work. And it did work. And that's the reason. That's why many of you made sales in 2020. But the scales have shifted so much. Here's what we teach. Your give to ask ratio should be 10-to-1. Now, what does that mean? Well, what that means is if you think about when you're posting about your products or business, right? Now I'm not talking about 10 posts, like 5 of them are random posts and 5 are about related to product. I'm talking about for every 10 posts that you're making that are connected to your products and business or some way, you are not making an ask of any kind. You are not asking people to buy. You are giving and you are serving and you are helping. And for every 10 gives, you get 1 ask. If you were to subscribe to that, you almost immediately would start to see better engagement. See, we like to say this, it's like you give in public, you ask in private. The longer you delay the ask and you're giving, serving, helping, building relationships, building trust, the bigger and the easier the ask actually becomes. It's so counterintuitive, but the harder you try to sell in content, right, the harder selling is going to be. And so it's like you got to learn how to really start changing your mindset when it comes to the purpose of content. Now, what I'm going to recommend is this. And yes, there's a lot going on right now, just so you know. I've got this camera, I've got this iPad, so forgive me if I'm looking around. But I see, let me come over here and I want to just address a question. Your give to ask ratio, because somebody said, what about your VIP groups? Should be in a VIP customer specific group, I would do the exact same thing. Look, I'm going to just tell you right now why your VIP groups are like, because all you do is sell and promote and there's no value. If I'm not interested in buying, I'm not even paying attention. So when you do post your sales post, nobody sees it because nobody's even looking. It is so hard to get and keep attention. So even if I had a customer group that I thought was for the purpose of selling, well, the first thing I need to do is change the purpose of the group. Because if a group exists just to sell, you shouldn't even have a group. It's a waste of your time. So it applies to me in every single circumstance on content today. Look, I get it. It's a different mindset, but this is the biggest way that content has changed really dramatically. And so it brings us to this important point. What is the purpose in your mind of content. See, most people, their purpose is to sell. And they think I'm going to create a conversion. A conversion is getting someone to buy. And so in your mind, if you're thinking that content exists for you to sell and get people to buy, that's a transactional approach. You will never be successful on social media. Look, what we experienced in 2020 and 2021 was such an aberration. Like, you could have been straight up transactional, no strategy, no skill, and you made sales. Social media today is so different. That will never work again. It will never work again. Social media is not going to get any easier. Engagement is not going to all of a sudden get better. It's only going to get harder and harder. But the fact that it's harder should not be discouraging to you, because the fact that it's harder means that there's more opportunity for those that are doing it better, that are doing it the right way. See, the goal of content, the purpose of content is not to sell. You do not sell in content. The goal of content is to help. And if you think about, can I just create content every day with the goal of helping other people, what will happen is you will automatically start getting better engagement. You're not making the ask, you're giving. People will start paying more attention. And so the purpose of content is to create an opportunity to start a conversation. That's all content exists for, is to give you an opportunity to create an engaged lead and start a conversation. So you have to really change your mindset in this area. And I'll just say one thing, and I'll come off share here real quick. I want to say one thing to those of you that might be struggling with this idea of helping. Let me get a drink of water here. So some of you, I'm sure, might be thinking this, but Bob, how can I help? How can I help? I don't have big results. I don't have the team. I don't have the thing. Listen, at the end of the day, this is what I want you to understand. Your credibility when it comes to what we're talking about does not come from your results. It comes from your willingness to help. That's it. If you are willing to show up every day and to give and to have the courage to put yourself out there and not be asking and not treat social media like it's your personal cash register, people will start paying attention. They will start appreciating the fact that you're willing to give. And when that happens, the law of reciprocity kicks in and they feel obligated to give back to you. You'll have people messaging you out of nowhere, asking you questions that will lead to the easiest sales you've ever made. And so here's where I really just want to challenge you. You got to be better. So here's your action item in this area. So your action item is this. During your runway, you're going to create 2 to 3 pieces of transformational content daily in your business. Now, let me explain to you what that means. I want you to be really intentional, okay? And so as we get within that 3-week window, and we know that the content we're creating is really important, because what we want to do is we want to start really putting content out there that's positioning us as somebody that can help people in a specific way. So my recommendation is you do less of the random stuff where you're just resharing memes and images and posting random stuff. And you have a well thought out plan where almost every post that you make has a specific purpose. And so when we think about transformational content, we're thinking about quality over quantity. And we're really thinking about what would it look like to lead with helping and problem solving. And so let me just share with you really quickly from my point of view, because we've been talking a lot about these 2 different ways to create content. I want to just share with you what I think each of them really is, and this might help you. So transactional conversation, as we mentioned, the goal is to sell. Transformational content, it's to help. Transactional content always leads with product and price. Now, when I look at what most people do on Black Friday, this is all I see. They lead with the good deal. They lead with the promotion and they just tell you why their thing is the best out there. That is the easiest formula for you absolutely failing on not only Black Friday, but any day of the year, especially Black Friday, because this is what every single person does. And I get it. You think your deal's the best and you think your product's the best, but your prospect does not feel that way. You are just like every other person trying to sell them on the internet. And so transformational content leads with problem solving and it focuses more on value. One of your challenges will be tonight when we talk about takeoff content is how do I share my promotion in a way that still has value beyond just promoting and trying to sell. So we'll help you navigate that. But when we think about transactional content, it's aspirational and unattainable. We're always selling the dream and we want to like portray that we have the highlight reel of our life. We're not real. We're not authentic. We're not relatable. Transformational content is authentic and relatable. We are willing to share the messy middle. It's not the highlight reel of our life. We're just sharing in an open, authentic, vulnerable way all of the ups and downs of our journey. Right. And so in that sense, people are connecting more with transformational content today. And so like, this is just a little bit of an overview. We're going to dive deeper into what this looks like, but I wanted to just kind of share with you a little bit about how these two things are different. So here's how we do this. Here's the first step to being able to execute this. I want you to think about problems. So if transformational content starts with problem solving, you've got to identify the problems that you solve before you can come up with the ideas for the content. Now, we teach that there are 3 general categories of problems that you solve, okay? The first 2 are related to your products. The third one is related to your business or opportunity. Now, we're going to be focusing for the purposes of this workshop, we are going to be focusing on 1, but more specifically 2. See, the secret to success is number 2. Barely anybody talks about number 2. Number 3 will be another workshop in the future. But when you think about problems, think about the things that somebody is struggling with in their life that make them a good team member are different than the things that make them a good prospect for your product or service. So let's just focus on the first 2. So here's an interesting thing. When you think about value, let's talk about value for a second. When you think about value, we ask ourselves, how do we do a better job communicating the value of somebody buying from us? It's so important because at the end of the day, that's what determines all purchasing decisions. It's not price. It's always value. Now, during a time like Black Friday, you can get somebody to buy because you've got a good price or a good deal. But the problem is if you're leading with that, then you're like everybody else. But the other issue is when you're just leading with, hey, it's a great deal, you wind up getting a lower quality, lower committed buyer because it devalues your products and what you do. So the secret to success is learning how to still be able to share a price promotion, but focus more on still communicating the value of what we do. If you're not making sales, you don't know how to communicate the value of what you do. If you're not building a team, you do not know how to communicate the value of somebody joining your team. That's it. So where does value come from? Well, I'll tell you right now. When you think of value, I argue that 25% of the value in our business comes meaning buying as a customer, comes from the product. 75% of the value comes from the process. So what do I mean by that? What are those two things? Well, if you think about it, there are product-related problems that you can solve, and there are process-related problems. And what I have found to be true is the far better distinguishing factor of your business and bigger competitive advantage is the process, not the product. Because listen, you might have a weight loss product and you might think it's the greatest thing that's out there, But when we think about product related problems, we think about things like actually losing weight. Like, what are the problems that if you could just get somebody to use the product would do the work? They would, if they used it consistently, they'd probably lose weight. If we take something like, let's take weight loss, it could be if they use the product, they'll have better energy. If they use the product, they might be in a better mood. If you think about, skincare, if they use the product, their skin will start to look better. If you think about makeup, they put the makeup on, they'll look more beautiful. So there are product related problems. And listen, there is value in talking about product related problems. Some of you have unique product related problems. Like you might have clean, non-toxic stuff, makeup, skincare, which there is value. But here's the thing. Product related problems are not enough to make your business stand out. Even something like non-toxic skincare 6 years ago was something unique. Today, not unique at all. Non-toxic skincare companies are a dime a dozen today. So you think it's the greatest thing, but your prospect's like, yeah, I've heard it before. So what really stands out is process. You need to learn how to highlight your process in your content. So what are process related problems? Well, let's take weight loss. Let's go through those examples. So process related problems of weight loss would be accountability, lack of accountability. Look, if you sell weight loss and you take the time to start asking people, why do you think you haven't lost the weight? What have you done before? And why do you think it hasn't worked for you? They're never going to say I didn't have the right product. They will never say that, because the truth of the matter is there's tons of great products that can help you lose weight. It's always process. I didn't have accountability. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the mindset. I didn't have the community. I didn't have the support, right? All of these things are process related problems. So in your content, if you can highlight process and talk about the unique way that you help clients, you will stand out. You will deliver so much more value through your content if you're doing that. Let's take makeup. So makeup, a product related problem would be, let's say, blemishes, right? You have blemishes, you put makeup on, you don't see the blemishes anymore. It could be uneven skin, aging skin, something like that. Product related problems. There is some value there, but process is more. So what would be a process oriented problem for makeup? The inability to match your skin tone, right? Makeup could be the best makeup in the world, but if you don't know how to match your skin tone, you're not going to get the same result, right? So color matching, right? Education, techniques, knowing how to apply the makeup in different ways, educating people on style trends and what's in and what's not in, right? All of these things are process related. Helping people apply makeup in less time. If you're a busy working mom, being able to simplify your makeup or beauty routine is incredibly valuable to you. So you start talking about, these are all the ways I help my clients. You're highlighting the back end of your business. When I look at what most people do, they just talk about the products. Nobody talks about the process. Now, part of it is because they don't have a process. So one of the things that we do in Love, Serve, Grow is we actually help you build out your delivery systems for not only your products, but your business. So the first step is you have to have a process in place. And then the second step is you have to start talking about it in your content. Let's take, skincare. So skincare, dry skin, blemishes, acne, you use the product, it's going to do the work. But the problem is if you're not using the product, if you think of what the process really does, is the process ensures that people use the product. How many times have you sold a product to somebody and they never use it? Well, your process is the thing that delivers the product itself to make sure they get the results, right? And so it's so critical, and it's something that so few people do. So what I want you to think about is I want you to think about this. I want you to think about, what does this look like for your business? Because the truth of the matter is this: when we talk about value, there's two different types of value. There's perceived value, right? So perceived value is what creates sales. What do I, if somebody, there's two people selling makeup, comparable products, comparable deals, but one of them is talking about process and all the things they do to help a customer. Now, all of a sudden, the perceived value of buying from you is going up in my eyes. I will buy from you every time. And so here's the secret is the better you do in terms of highlighting the process, the easier it is for people to make sales. And then there's actual value. Actual value is what is it actually like to buy from you. And so if you're somebody that struggles with retention, the actual value of your business is not very good. If you struggle making sales, you're not doing a good enough job to build the perceived value. So all of this, once again, is tied to process. I'm going to give you one tip. I'm going to give you a tip right now. Okay. So here's what I want you to think about. I wasn't going to do this, but I want to just do this because I want to try to deliver as much value as I can. If you're somebody that does have a process, so let's say you sell weight loss and you do a health assessment call with people that buy from you, or you sell makeup and you do a color match, or you sell skincare and you have a skincare quiz that you have people go through to recommend the right products, or you sell clothing and you typically help people go through their closet and match outfits to go with your pieces of clothes. If you have something that's valuable in your process, here's what you do. Do it live in your content. Go live with a prospective customer. Make sure they're okay to do it with you. Go live and do a health assessment live for every single person to see you do. Do a color match live with a potential customer. Do a skincare set. Do it live. Just show, take everything that's behind the doors of your business and put it into the front of your content and just show people. Listen, this is why we do so much I do free coaching on Instagram every morning. I just have people hop on with me and I coach them for free on Instagram Live every morning. You want to know why that I do that? Because it's creating more perceived value for somebody working with us. They're like, I need to get access to this kind of coaching. So they join Love, Serve, Grow and they get to work with me and they work with our coaching. Listen, this is what we're talking about. If your content is not head and shoulders above everybody else's out there, you are not going to get attention today. So we need to really dial in the process piece. Okay, we're in the home stretch now. So let me get myself caught back up here. So what we want to do is we want to make a list of all the problems that we help people solve in these areas. I'm going to give you an added thing to think about. As you're making those lists of problems, have a specific person in mind. Nobody does this. Nobody does this. The ones that do are easily the ones that are winning the best, the biggest. When we started doing this in our business, it completely transformed the way that people responded to us. So when I look at something like weight loss and I look at the people that are talking about problem solving, they're better than the completely transactional ones, but truth be told, they all look and they all sound exactly the same. They're talking about the exact same problems and all this, they're saying the same things. Here's the secret. Solve the problems of a specific person. Who is the person, your ideal person for your business? So when you think about problems, maybe, and by the way, your person is just like you. So if you were a busy stay-at-home mom when you first joined your company, then you're probably looking to help other busy stay-at-home moms. So think about what are the problems that busy stay-at-home mothers have. Ambitious, motivated, get it all done, busy moms. What are their problems? What does her life look like? And when you're creating the content, you don't just say struggles with losing weight. You say, look, I know as a busy, get it all done mom, a lot of times your problem is you give to everyone else, but you don't have time for yourself. And your health has put on the back burner. And it's starting to impact your energy. You struggle keeping up with the kids. Your fuse is too short. You fly off the handle. And I know that drives you crazy and you don't want it to be that way. You speak to a specific person's problems. Now, here's the pushback I get, but Bob, I want to help everybody. You still will. Because the conversations that you have will be with lots of different people and you will sell to lots of different people. But what I'm telling you is if you're not super specific today in the person you are talking to on social media, you will always struggle to get attention. Like being relatable is arguably the most important thing on social media today. You can't be relatable to someone unless you know who you're trying to relate to. The problem most of you have is you're trying to sell to everyone. And so that winds up you selling to no one because you're so general and vague, you're not talking to anyone. Who do you want to work with? Talk to them in your content. This is as predictable a formula as I've ever seen. You consistently get clear on who you want to work with. You talk to that person in your content, and then all of a sudden, like magic, they start showing up. I've never seen this not happen to people that buy into it and do it. You'll still sell to other people, but this is an important stop. Now, here are some examples of what transformational content might look like. So when we talk about the actual delivery, customer success stories are phenomenal pieces of content. Sharing the stories of other people that have transformed their life, talking about their problems. And when you share a customer success story, here's the real opportunity. Talk about the specific things that you did with them that are process oriented that helped them have success. Highlight your process and the problems that you help them solve. Before and after transformation posts can be really great if they're done the right way. Most people don't do them the right way. They just throw them out there hoping that they're going to sell or they try to sell. Tips and advice we've talked a lot about. And think about sharing the messy middle. People connect with your problems before they buy into your business and your success. That's how we relate to people. If you can speak clearly to someone else's problems and let them know you've struggled with the same thing, you will immediately begin to build trust with them. So we want to start highlighting some of these things. Now, I want to share something with you we're very excited about. I know some of you might be thinking like, okay, this is feeling great. I get it. I'm excited to start down this path. But if I'm honest, I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed because I don't know where to start. Well, once again, in preparation for this workshop, I thought through all of the challenges and all of the objections that I knew that you would give me in doing this. And so I said, well, okay, so what if instead of having them take what they learn and then come up with the plan for 21 days of posts, what if we just create it for them? What if we just make the plan? So that's what we did. So we have created a 21-day runway content guide where we give you, I have spent a lot of time on this. I took everything you're going to learn in the next 2.5 days. I took and I distilled it down into it's actually 19 days when you encounter everything, but 19 specific post prompts. All you have to do is answer questions and write it, fill in the blanks, and you go post. I've done all the hard work for you. All you have to do is literally just get the guide and do it. So it'll save you dozens of hours. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to tell you how you can get access to this guide. So you're going to have to tune in tomorrow to session number 3, where we'll announce the scholarship winners. I see everybody making their argument and selling themselves, so thank you for that. But I'm going to tell you, we'll announce the winners tomorrow, but I'm also going to share with you how you can get access to this guide. So we've done all the work for you. Okay. One more thing left that I want to share with you, and then we're done. I want to share with you a really powerful tool that you can utilize to really help you speed up this process of engagement. So I want to encourage you to create something called a lead magnet in your business. So there are 2 different types of asks. There's a direct ask, which is, hey, buy my stuff. And then there's an indirect ask, which is essentially you offering something that is free value in an attempt to build a relationship with someone, to establish trust. Lead magnets are usually solving specific problems of a specific person. And so that is an indirect ask. Now, in your content, when you're making your ask, if you can make indirect asks more than direct asks, you will be way more successful. And so a lead magnet is a great way to make an indirect ask. So it's a marketing term for a free item or service that's given away for the purpose of gathering someone's contact details. Now, typically, you would enter your email. But to make things simple and even faster for you, you don't ask somebody for their email. You just ask them to interact with your post, and then that creates the conversation where you give them the thing. So I'll give you some examples of lead magnets. It could be what we've talked about already. A health assessment is a lead magnet. A color match. It could be a PDF, or not even a PDF, just a Google document where you put some things in that you know could be valuable. Recipes, exercise tips, your favorite holiday product list. It could be anything. It doesn't even have to be fancy. It just has to have perceived value to your audience. It could be a video. It could be a sample, a consultation, a calendar, a planner, a cheat sheet. There are so many different things. Think about the problems you solve and think about the knowledge or information you have and come up with something that you could simply say in a post. If you are this person struggling with this, drop a yes in the comments and let me know if you'd be interested in this free thing that I've created just for you. And that will turbocharge your engagement. You can start a conversation. Now, here's where most of you are going wrong. Most of you are going wrong because you're putting your lead magnet out there for free. You never give it for free. Don't put the link in your bio. Make them have to interact with you, because if you just put it out there, then you're not creating engaged leads. You don't know who's expressing interest. If you put a color match out there and somebody clicks on it and they never take it, they're gone. You don't have any recourse. So you got to hold it, and that's the reason why you actually get them to do it. Now, in the guide, we have a specific strategy that we teach, that we use. We call it a raise your hand post, where we'll teach you how to create a lead magnet and how you can do a simple raise your hand post, basically just telling people. We have a format we teach. There's a specific formula for coming up. The name of the lead magnet is important, and the way that you talk about it. This is all in the workbook, by the way, comment workbook, if you haven't gotten your copy yet. But imagine having a raise your hand post in a group that you have, your public social media, and you get potentially dozens or hundreds of people that are out there watching, raise their hand, say, yes, I have this problem. I want this help. Those are the hottest leads you could possibly have for your business. So, okay, one more slide. So I want to remind you that we have the replays available. So the replay link is on the screen there. Black Friday replay, yourvirtualupline.com/Black Friday replay. So we're going to be uploading the replays to the sessions. We usually do it within an hour or so of it happening. So we'll have them in there pretty quickly. This is the place where I want you to go to get access to all of the replays, so it's easy for you to watch. I do want to give you one final reminder for those of you that might have joined a little bit late. We do have a workbook. Let me actually come off share here for 1 sec so I can show this to you. So if you are interested in getting a copy of the workbook, which is right, bear with me 1 sec. Workbook is right here. So if you would like to get a copy of this workbook with all of the exercises, all the assignments, and some bonus content, just comment workbook. My team is working really hard responding to comments. We'll send you the link. It's $27, 27 pages. It is worth its weight in gold. So we have everything in there for you. All right. Well, listen, everyone. That is session number 1. And I think it's a pretty good indication of what's to come. I think it's only going to get better. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you show up for as many of the live sessions as you can, knowing that we do have the replays. You're going to have access for, I think, 2 weeks after. We're giving you access to the replays. So if you miss a session, it'll be here. But our next session is tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about takeoff content. So how do you share sales and promotions in a transformational way? This is going to be really good. And you're going to get a chance tonight to hear from one of our clients. You're going to get a chance to hear tonight from a client of ours, Jamie, who is absolutely crushing it right now with live video. So she works with one of our coaches. She's a coaching client in Love, Serve, Grow. When Jamie joined our program, she was on the verge of being ready to quit. She was so fed up and so frustrated, she was ready to quit her business. And working with one of our coaches, Ashley, and really digging into content and specifically live video, she is crushing it right now, making sales on live video. And you are going to so resonate and relate to her story when you hear it. You're going to be like, man, she is me. She's going to talk about the specific things she's doing with live video to really be able to grow her business. And I'm mentioning this because I think live video is one of the most powerful tools you have during the promotional time, during your takeoff. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. So 8 o'clock tonight, make sure you tune in. Tomorrow, we're going to announce at noon, we're going to announce the scholarship winners. And we're going to share with you that special offer to get the workbook, but also for those of you that are interested, we're going to talk about how you can work with one of our coaches. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. So thanks for being here to everybody. Hope you got a lot out of this session number 1. I'm going to go rest up, drink some water, and get ready for session number 2 tonight. So we'll see you. Take care.